and welcome to Flashback, the games you loved, the stories you forgot. This is episode 21, and this week we're in March 2008. I'm RGT, and as always, I am joined by the man who's very fast to have a blast on a Dreamcast. He's full of glee when he's playing the Atari ST. Was in his game and prime when he was on Ocarina of Time. That's UCP George. How you doing, mate?
Wow, that was almost like a biographical, gameplay history of me. I'm a little bit seduced.
I was quite pleased with those.
They were perfect. Much like your good self, practically perfect in every way.
Oh, I'm not sure about that, but
Well, that's what it says in the script.
yeah.
And then it says RGT, well, I'm not sure about that. And then George says that, so yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
How are you getting on?
Don't break the fourth wall. I'm fine, thank
Not
you very
here.
much. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, very good. So, being interesting to have a look at March 2008, what we were playing, see if the Gen 7 was getting up and singing by this point, see what games were coming out, and few on here I recognised, few I haven't played but have liked to have played. But let's get straight into it. Let's have a look. These are sort of from end of February into March 2008. I'll kick us off because one of these games, if you listen to the UCP, you'll know I have played quite recently in the last 2 or 3 weeks, actually, and that is Turning Point Fall of Liberty. I played this on PlayStation 3.
When you talked about this the other day, I had a completely different artwork in my mind.
Well, we were talking about this off air. Now, the reason I bought this game a while ago, I mean, this game is £2 now. It's not expensive. But when I was looking for my shelf for something to play, I'd finished Infamous 2. I was looking for something else to play, Gen 7 wise. And I saw this artwork and thought, I don't know why this artwork seems familiar to me, and I couldn't think why. I didn't know if that reminded me of what's the one in Germany where you play in the war and you bring the colour back to the town?
Oh, Saboteur.
I didn't know if that reminded me of Saboteur or something like that. And I thought, have I played this? Turns out I hadn't played it.
This did get Turning Point Fall of Liberty, I feel, got a lot of advertising money on it.
I think it did, and it didn't quite turn out to what they expected it to be.
100%.
Yeah, it was developed by Spark Unlimited, published by Codemasters, which I think turned a few heads because I think most people think Codemasters, this is going to be decent. But obviously only the publisher. It came out PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Microsoft Windows. It's an alternative history point of view. So, like I said back on UCP when I was talking about it, basically in real life, Winston Churchill was hit by a car, was badly damaged his leg, and he walked with a stick for the rest of his life. This is if what happened in a parallel world is if Winston Churchill was killed in 1931, and basically Germany was coming across to invade America, and like they'd won the war. And you start off basically working as working on a skyscraper as a construction worker as they invade, and you grab a gun and you sort of work with the resistance. Graphically, it looks worse than some of the launch games on the PS3, Xbox 360. It's very Generation 6 looking. Like I say, it's first-person shooter, very short.
First-person shoot. Well, what are the levels like? Are they open or are they corridor led almost?
Corridor led.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, there's some openish bits. It's a bit like a scaled down Resistance. Probably not as good looking as Resistance, even though it's 2 years later than Resistance.
That was a talking point for me on the main show. Like, how does this hold up to even that? And you say it's worse than that, and I like, wow.
And for instance, when you climb a ladder, you come out of first person view, you go into third person view, and your character model, the first time I saw it, I sort of went, Oh, that's a that's a hard pill to swallow for a Generation 7 game in 2008, might I add. Um, but it's a bit glitchy, it's a bit clunky. Like I say, I played through this in 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Um, it was literally a rainy Sunday and played through it in one sitting. Um, it's okay. The last few levels get a little tricky, but they're quite good. You get a decent selection of weapons. But it's basically there's like 5 levels. When you're in one section of a level, you'll have a little tick box on the side, do this, do that, and then you move on to the next level once you get to the end of that area. Um, yeah, it didn't it didn't score too highly, put it that way. There was a lot of 4 out of 10s, 5 out of 10s, 1 star out of 5. There was a lot of these
Mm.
reviews at, 40%, 50%. Hence why even now you can pick it up. I mean, I think CEX is like £2,
Would
£2.50.
you agree with those reviews of that time? It's not a one-star game, is it? You finished it at least.
Yeah, it's not. I would think 1 star's a bit harsh. I mean, if you're doing it out of 10, 5 or 6 out of 10. 6 is the higher end of it, I would say. Even now, I'd say if you like first-person shooters and you like Generation 7, you collect for it for £2. I think it's worth a go, really. Like I say, rainy day, put this on, you can blast through it in one go. It's all right. It's not bad. It's a bit of, like I say, it's an alternate storyline, which I think the storyline's probably better than what the actual game is. It's a good idea. You're standing on this skyscraper as Germany invade. You have to work your way down, find a gun, fight your way out the streets. So on that point, that's quite a good little narrative. But the conviction of the development wasn't great. There was a couple of times I had to restart because I'd got stuck like on a can of cola or something, which I couldn't actually jump over. So yeah, but it's Turn and Point Fall of Liberty is it's a curio worth having a go on, but don't expect it to blow your socks off or be a Halo clone or anything like that. Ain't gonna be nothing like that. But yeah, worth having a little look. What about you, George? Anything on there
First
grab your
thing
fancy?
that grabs my fancy, as you call it. And, yeah, interesting phraseology. I'm going to talk about Lost via Domus, the video game, for a moment. Now,
Hmm.
me and my good lady wife got into Lost the series, much to our chagrin, although, the journey was more enjoyable than the destination. Let's put it that way.
Hmm.
But the video game kind of continues that on. It's an okay
Well, does it
looking.
follow on from the series, or does
No,
it?
no, no, no. It kind of takes place in and around it. It's
Okay,
it's not great.
typical license game, is it?
I think it's trying to be a little bit more than that, but it's not aged well. I found it a little bit clunky. As a tie-in game, it definitely felt like the lower end of a tie-in game. I can't say I saw it through, and to be honest with you, I wasn't that impressed with it. John Locke, he looked pretty good. As for the other characters, no. So I'd probably it's an interesting curio if you like the series, but you probably need to be playing this halfway through, maybe earlier, to be fair. While we're here, if I may be so bold, talk about maybe we'll do a joint talk about this because we're both like our PSPs. It's God of War Chains of Olympus RGT sat here
Hmm.
in its untouched glory, ready to be devoured by every man, woman, and child. PSP game, bring in all the joy and almost all of the visual prowess of the PlayStation 2 game to you in a handheld form. Did you kind of had a PSP concurrent with the 3000 series when it was out? Was God
Hmm.
of War something that tipped its way into the basket for you during those early days, or is it something that came to you later in gaming?
It came to me later. I own a copy, but I still as yet is to play it. I haven't played it yet. It's on my PSP list to play because I've heard good things, and a couple of the review videos I have seen on the game, I've sort of thought, "Oh, that is probably one of the best PSP looking, looking wise I've
Mm.
seen games." I mean, that does look, at first glance, you could almost go, "Oh, that's PS2." And you hold on, no, hang on, that's a PSP game.
Yeah,
That.
it's a little bit more locked off than the PS2, and I think
Mm,
that's to enable them to give you that visual flair.
mm,
But And it's close.
Mm.
It's close, but it's not the same. But it's good enough.
Yeah, definitely.
This and the sequel improved on things massively, but this and the sequel on PSP are bangers. And if you're going to have two UMDs kicking around in your carry bag, it better be those two. Because you're going to have yourself a lot of fun. And the PSP actually is going to sing songs that you never thought it could sing with this game. So yeah, I must recommend just a continuation of that great gameplay.
Mm.
And do you know what? It works in pick up and play format as well. It does.
Mm. Yeah.
So an ode to that. And also, tips into sort of longer gameplay sessions as well, where you could just pull through it more like a traditional at-home experience.
Mm.
Very, very good way of bringing Gen 6 portable. I think we've talked about this before. Rockstar did a really good effort. I mean, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition took a little bit of a kicking in the reviews in the era because I went and had a look recently on PSP specifically. And I was a bit shocked to see, but then you see evidence of it running and you're like, well, yeah, it looks pretty good actually. Add to that the fact that we got um, the Warriors straight port to PSP, RGT pretty much. And,
Mm.
you know, PSP had you feeling like a king around 2008. It was in its sweet song right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think, even though we're into Gen 7 then, there was no harm in walking around with a PSP full singing. That was about the best you could get graphically and for bigger boys games in the pocket. The DS was about, but it wasn't playing games like this. That wasn't gonna.
No, well, I'll put it to you that the PSP arrived almost as a Trojan horse of the PS3's future design aesthetic.
Yeah, 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 true, yeah.
Much like the PSVR showed up as a Trojan horse about possibly where they were looking at taking PS5, and all of a sudden it rocks up all white plastic. Um, Very much similar situation here, and the PSP and the PS3 are much more mutually compatible than anything previously
Mm,
and post.
mm,
So they're very much into each other in terms of the ability to download software onto the PSP. If you're a non-hacked boy like me and you've got some games up in the ether and your PSP won't go online anymore because it runs a very old version of Wi-Fi, oh yes, um, you can still get the PS3 to talk to PSP. So I
mm,
could download car packs of Gran Turismo and a myriad of other things that I've done
mm,
along the
yeah,
way. So yeah, side ramble there, but PSP really in its a good place at this moment, RGT.
yeah, definitely.
What's your next game, sir?
Um, Actually, it's a game series me and a friend have been really talking about maybe getting into, and that's after we were at OLL and watched a few of the heats of this game. But obviously the later version on Switch, but Super Smash Bros. And this is Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii.
Mmm.
March the 9th, 2008. Now I know a lot of people talk well of this one, and I mean this was in a lot of books and the 1001 video games to play before you die and a lot of the top lists, and I think it was in the top 10 best selling Wii games. And this is the sort of the first time, not being an N64 owner, I never really sort of took much of a look or knew much about Super Smash Bros. That was more when everyone was getting a Wii and people were, we went from everyone started with the Wii Sports, but the people then who faded off Wii Sports who weren't really gamers just had a Wii with Wii Sports. But
Yeah.
a few of us who were gamers started looking into the libraries of bits. And I remember a friend picked up Super Smash Bros. I remember watching it thinking, wow, I didn't even know Nintendo done these sort of fighting games that seem really out of character for them to have you brawling on a screen. And then you thought, that's quite clever because you got the characters on the roster, you can unlock characters and the scenes you play in. So that's always really interested me. And like I say, after we were at OLL and seeing the guys playing on air, which was astonishing how well they play, that's really got me thinking about getting into it. And again, I know I said this about Chains of Olympus. I do have a copy of this. I think I have the Wii U one as well. So yeah, Super Smash Bros. If listeners or
What are you saying here? We got
listeners,
a champion in the making here. Are you going to go and become
no
UKG's
chance,
world champion for?
no chance. No, I'm just going to say if any listeners out there like Super Smash Bros. Or if they, especially the Brawl version. let us know, and questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, or leave a little note on your podcast provider to contact us, and we'll read it out next week. But yeah, let us know if you're in the Super Smash Bros, because it's definitely got me intrigued of late. It's something I think I could really get into that. But yeah, anything else on there for you, George?
I mean, there's a few games. One like a little bit of a lost memory. I don't know what's going on because I'm looking here at Condemned 2 Bloodshot, and I'm thinking, I think I played this. Obviously, I had the first one early doors on the 360. And I'm sure I've got this, but I tell you what, I've drawn an absolute blank on it.
That's an
RGT.
iconic. I mean, I know that cover as well, with the eye looking through that little keyhole.
And
You
I
know,
think I probably went and bought this because I was hot off Condemned 1. I mean, it
what's
scared
this,
the living
360,
bejesus
wasn't it?
out of me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Condemned 1 was really good. I mean, it was scary. It got to me because it was one of those moments where screen would go black and it would turn on, the mannequins had moved. And you were like, oh, this is unsettling.
Oh yes, I've seen clips of that. I was never a horror player, and still really aren't to that much nowadays. But I've seen sort of top horror lists, and that came up with the mannequins where they'd all. Oof, God, that's horrible.
But to be fair, after that, it's a pretty visceral kind of mainly melee combat game from my memory. Condemned 2, I think, continued it. Now, like I say, I think I had it. It must have all been morphed into memories of one, but I like those games. God knows what they look like now. I thought at the time they looked pretty good and they played pretty well. There was some intriguing mechanics in there. I do believe you had to sort of scan with a UV light or something like that from memory as well. It was yeah, I can't imagine that RGT Condemned 1 and 2 are much money at all these days. This is where you tell me like 40 quid a game or something, but I'll definitely recommend people pick those up. I'd like to think that you could pick them up for a couple of dollars each, and definitely if you got your eyes open in the charity shops, I would implore you to get all into that. One other thing, RGT, those baseball games in full effect right now over on we've got the Major League Baseball 2K8 series in full effect and MLB '08 The Show. Yeah, I mean MLB The Show at this point, it's picking up momentum. It's not quite the game I want it to be. I've got some of these earlier incarnations and they're pretty raw, straight baseball sims, if I'm honest with you.
Mm,
But Major League Baseball by the 2K series was probably taking the lead in terms of the career life aspect of it. MLB The Show's still not even really there now. They definitely present it in a more kind of straight-laced way. But I love MLB The Show, and I don't ever really want it to change. There was some news the other day about it coming to mobile as a free-to-play, made by the actual team who make MLB, and it did make my blood run cold a little bit. But hey, we'll see where that goes.
yeah, cross that bridge when you come to it. I think.
Yeah, I suppose as we talked about it earlier, and it seems a shame for me too, as we talk about the PSP, doing well. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII landed on the system at this time,
Mm,
and obviously had a remake on modern systems, but is a beautiful game to look at on PSP. Seem to be talking all about the graphics today, but no, that's it's a good story. I recommend you go check that out. I shouldn't imagine that's much. I don't know. We'll defer. RGT, did you have pricing for Condemned?
Condemned. The original one is more than Condemned 2. The original is about sort of £10, but Condemned 2 you can pick up actually cheapest on PS3. It's about 4 to 5. It's about 6 to 8 on the 360. So
Yes.
they're still not terrible money for what they are nowadays. It's not a
No,
bad
they
price.
always reminded me as well of the Darkness 1 and 2. They had a similar
Mm,
aesthetic, a similar kind of, when it's on Earth anyway, a similar look to the graphics, textures, etc.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
they do get a little bit kind of mixed up in my brain, but yeah.
Mm.
What's your next game off of this list, RGT?
It's another Wii game actually. I'm gonna go with
What you got?
House of the Dead, 2 and 3 Return. Um,
Oh yes.
Yeah, played a lot of this on the Wii, and then obviously we went over to Director's Cut later on the PS3 Move. But these were good. They had the arcade plus original mode plus bonus stuff. And at the time, it was the only place you could really sort of play a modern sort of light gun shooter game at home. And these were just great fun. We're at that time where arcade was possible at home, and the House of the Dead games are, they're legendary really for what they are when you play them. We had many hours playing these. Same again, if you got a Wii now, you can pick this up for sort of 6 to 8 quid, so it's not bad at all. Um, but yeah, just hours of fun to have from these shooters. And yes, there was a lot of shovelware on the Wii, but there was also a lot of variety as well. Yes, it was your motion-based physics, which on some games you thought, oh, just let me have a controller, which some did, but it was made for this sort of stuff. As soon as you got that Wiimote and you could put it in a little gun case for a gun, then you have to have House of the Dead. You have to have hunting games. So yeah, House of the Dead 2 and 3. Brilliant games, and definitely worth picking up if you've got a Wii nowadays. Anything else for you, George, on there?
Yeah, obviously in the green room before we came through to record RGT, we were looking. I was perusing this script, and I saw Dark Sector, and it triggered something in me. Now, I don't know if I've played it, but this game I feel was one of those games I say every week that was everywhere. Like I feel like this got previewed the hell out of double page spreads, talk about this, front covers of magazines. But a game now that's been relegated to, without this show, RGT, the backwaters of nowhere. And there's a couple of games on here. Viking Battle for Asgard as well is another game that I feel like was everywhere. Back of magazines, in the middle, previews. Where is it now? No one's even talking about it.
Yeah, well, I've picked this up recently, and that was because them two artworks, Dark Sector and Viking Battle for Asgard. The Dark Sector one, the font and the way that is written, I thought I know that from somewhere, and
I feel like it's a Mandela effect. I feel like in a timeline, that's one of the biggest games ever
well, yeah, and the
in
artwork
history.
with the guy on the front, I kept thinking, am I thinking of Alan Wake or am I? I don't know. But then the Viking one, yes, that was everywhere, and that wasn't until I was in CEX a few months ago, and I was flicking through PS3 games and went, oh God, this Viking game, I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember this being everywhere. So I picked it up and as yet to play it, but I just thought, how weird is it that just suddenly gets triggered? Because some of these games get pushed and pushed and pushed by the publishers. They come out, gone. And that's only when you just see the artwork that triggers in your brain about it.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
post this, mate. I'm hopping on eBay or whatever online sales site I find it on. I'm grabbing myself a copy of Dark Sector. It's championed to be a modern superhero story.
mm,
Um, it I implore everyone who's listening to this, because we're working up to video. If you want to see our faces, you can look at UCP videos on the YouTube, and you'll see exactly what we look like. But we're keeping this as a more kind of intimate experience to begin with. But look up Dark Sector on Google Images, and just the guy reeks of like Gen 7 jank. Just his character model, his hair,
very generic.
the way his face is. Like, oh my goodness gracious me. So that's my honourable mention in here, RGT. A lot of this artwork, Obscure the Aftermath, which I think is a PSP game, like that was everywhere.
Yeah,
Those hands and that body
yeah.
against that thing, that was in every magazine. It was on every bus stop.
That's one of them where if you take the lettering off, you take the name off, you'd still to see the hands. You go, oh, that's obscure. That's an obscure game. You just
Yeah.
knew from the hands that was one of them. Um,
I'm done, RGT, I think.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if there's any more honourable mentions for me. We had Sega Superstars Tennis. Never really got into that myself, but I know a few people did play it. We had Hot Shots Golf. Obviously, that was everybody's golf that we had over here, which is very addictive, very
I
fun
love a bit
golf
of Hot
games.
Shots golf, mate. It's so harmless that it's actually quite nice. And when you get into that sort of Japanese chilby kind of bits of clothing and clubs and whatnot, it's fun.
And then we
Really
also
fun.
had another PSP game. We had Flat Out Head On, which was, I believe, a PSP exclusive. So, um,
Was it?
I think so. Yeah, I'm
The
sure.
Flat Out series was on everything, but Flat
Yeah,
Out Head On was a
I'm
PSP
sure
exclusive.
flat.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
I'm sure Head On was a. I'm sure that was a
The
PSP
PSP
exclusive.
one.
I think.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's
I'm sure it
probably
was.
the only way they could get it running on there because Flat Out was quite the game in the early 360 era.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Was that? Is that the guys that went on to do Wreckfest?
I can't comment for that. I just know that that game again was everywhere and was kind of like filling a gap in the 360 library.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I remember
Probably
playing.
objectively, probably not the best, but it did what
I,
it
th-
needed to do.
I think they took it more to that sort of. Yeah, some. It was more that sort of backyard racing with damage physics. It was. I think it was
Yeah,
quite well done. I don't think it was. The
I feel
greatest.
like those games have a bit of a niche though. These combat racers, they're never going to sell as much as Gran Turismo.
No, no, they're
No
not.
matter
But
which way you butter it up, no matter if it's the best playing version of it ever.
mm,
Sadly,
yeah.
I say sadly, games like that are never gonna
Yeah, and a lot have tried different things like split second and blur and flat out. Obviously,
same
they've
games.
tried.
That's what I'm saying. These
Yeah,
arcade racers,
yeah,
they're okay. They're really great fun to play.
yeah.
But in terms of the sales numbers, I mean, they tick every box on the Excel spreadsheet, don't they? Fun, crazy, good graphics,
Crashing.
environmentals, crashing. How can you not like this?
Yeah.
And I agree. But in terms of sales numbers, it's garbage.
Mm. No,
Great,
definitely.
fun game, good concept. In terms of remuneration, poor, super
Yeah.
poor, sadly.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you
Very
know,
true.
that's arcade games for you. I think they kind of have this. They do okay at home in the home market, especially back in the day, but now people want a little bit more meat on the bone. Arcades are good for like a 5, 10, 20 minute blast, aren't they? Maximum. And
Mm.
you're kind of about six to the back teeth of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
They're like
Yeah. They.
sickly sweet penny chews.
Yeah. They have their longevity, which is short bursts. So. But yeah, that was probably what we would have been hoping to play from February, March 2008. But I think it's time we got onto the news.
Mm.
We've scoured the very darkest back pages of the game and mags and even delved deep into the interweb to bring you what was the latest stories in March 2008. First up from Games Radar, Sony says meh to GTA 4 episodic content. Doesn't reckon a huge percentage of GTA owners will bother with 360 DLC.
Mm.
Sony has said, yeah, whatever. Look at our PS3 exclusives as a reposit to Xbox 360's exclusive episodic GTA 4 content, which it doesn't reckon many people will buy initially anyway. They go on to say there's a lot of game to Grand Theft Auto, and there's going to be a lot of game to Grand Theft Auto 4 to the point where I think most people will have the Grand Theft Auto experience on the PS3 day and date. Same core game shipping on the 360. Scott Steinberg, VP of Product Marketing of SCEA, told Game Daily. Xbox 360's episodic content may release in the autumn, he said, but referring to vanilla GTA 4, he added there's a whole lot of product releasing for PS3 in April too. I personally don't think there's going to be a huge percentage of folks who'll jump into downloadable content for another price when they're still playing through the core product, Steinberg continued. He went on to say that when GTA 4 on PS3 is combined with console exclusives Metal Gear Solid 4 and Gran Turismo, it clearly sets Sony's machine at the top. I think that goes from tipping point to shoving point for consumers who are on the fence, wondering what platform should I buy. It's the elite of the elite products that actually enable hardware to be sold with software, and we have three of them. GTA 4 is out on both PS3 and Xbox 360 on April the 29th. Make your decision now. Um, yeah, I put this in here because this seemed right when the war was kicking off with PS3 and Xbox 360 to the point where they almost seem quite angry. They almost seem like, no, we've got, ours is the prim, is premium. This is the premium product. This is why you'll play it on here. You know, we've also got Metal Gear Solid, and we've also got Gran Turismo. You know, it almost seemed as though
The sad thing is,
they also almost seemed a bit annoyed about it that
oh,
they
they're
actually had
annoyed.
it. Yeah.
They're they're furious at the marketplace at this moment. They had it all with PS2. They presented the consumer with the product that the consumer said they wanted, and the consumer is kind of bought a 360 already. They were
Mm,
furious.
mm,
What they didn't realize is coming to the market 1 year later, when everyone had kind of got really tired of the PS2 at that point, and maybe you could argue the original Xbox. Coming a year later, we've talked about this on the main show and possibly on Flashback, that transient crowd moved from PS2 to 360, and a lot of
mm,
gamers will tell you that their memories are maybe PS1, PS2, 360, great memory, short burst, Red Ring, PS3, or kind of stayed in the Xbox
mm,
ecosystem from then forward, or then flipped to PS4. And I think those transient PlayStation 2 players came home in the PS4 generation, which rewarded Sony massively by really establishing the one to win, which was the PS4 Xbox One era.
mm.
Rewind that back to here, and sadly, I don't like his vitriol, but I believe 2008 probably was the tipping point for that to happen.
Mm.
It was, I don't really feel, this might be controversial to say, but I don't really feel like the PS3, Sony were doing things. Absolutely, they were. But what I saw as an outsider looking in as the savior of the PS3 was that little clique or crowd that were sort of gathering around the IGN Beyond podcast. They were the ones that saved the PS3. They were the
Mm.
ones who kind of flipped the script and showed people. Sony kind of listened, got on board. Their engagement at that moment was huge. You know,
Mm.
they were involved and they were wanting to find out, like, why aren't you? And we need games. This was at the moment, though, where they weren't really engaging. They were just sticking to their rigid business plan and going, right, we got this, we got this, we got this, and blah. Why aren't you buying it? I think it's also really colourblind of the guy to, and obviously this is the main point of the news article, for him to turn his nose up at the DLC. Now, he's turning his nose up because he's putting a marketing spin on, oh, we don't think you'll be into that. What? Because you didn't sign an exclusivity deal. That's exactly why you're not into it. And when it did make its way to your console, you hyped the living hell out of it, and it's the best version of GTA 4 to own on that console.
Mm.
So him saying he's not into it really reeks, as you say, of like a very bitter marketing war. One that they could have just stepped back from with a little bit of class and said less and earned more kudos. But
Mm.
that takes emotional intelligence, RGT, and sometimes I don't think marketing people have that because it
No.
would involve admitting the competitor did get some things right, and that is a bit of a red flag, especially in 2008.
Yeah, and I think, like you say, this was at the tipping point, and you got to remember from Sony, they had come from the PS2 just thinking we've completely dominated there, best-selling console of all time. We're just gonna we can come in a year late because our fan base will cruise this. Suddenly they're on catch up and they're like, well, hold on, we're not used to this. We've been
Hmm.
lead. Oh dear, well, hold on, what have they done now? What are they doing now? You know, they're doing Xbox Live, they're doing this, they're doing achievements. Well, hold on, we're getting left behind here, and that was a catch up. And like you say, 2008, the Xbox had been out what 2.5 years by this point, I would imagine. And you know, PS3 had been out for 18 months, so it was then on that sort of tipping point of coming, you know, to getting back, you know, getting the feet under the table a bit more. But obviously, certain things, game companies were going more to the 360 because of the player base at the time, because of the gamers they had, and it was hurting Sony. And you could see it from this. It was just like, well, you know, he's talking about the DLC for Grand Theft Auto 4, and he has to quickly snap back with, well, we've got Metal Gear Solid 4 and Gran Turismo. We've got many things you can play. You know, he's getting annoyed and he's trying to have digs and deflect. But at the end of the day, yes, you've slipped up here. You slipped up big time.
I think I think generally the PS3 is probably a little bit of a microcosm of what happens to most businesses when they do well. When businesses start, or branches of businesses like Xbox or PlayStation for Sony and Microsoft start, they employ scrappy fighters, people that can build a wall, that can get something out tomorrow and they just cobble it together. Xbox is a great example. Load of laptop parts thrown in a box, running on DirectX, bam, that'll do.
Mm.
And maybe not so with the PlayStation. It was developed, and these things are R&D and all that sort of stuff. But to launch a console, you got to have people that are scrappy on the ground, guerrilla people. Once a console and a brand's established, washing it into the wider industry, your brand then employs people that have known nothing but success. So when the business then hits the rocks, your people aren't those scrappy fighters that launched the brand that know how to think on their feet and dodge and sharp. They're people that have been brought in because they know about evolutions for the next stage of the business.
Mm.
But when the business falters and hits the rocks, it's a bit like the Division 3, 2, 1 and Premier players. A Premiership player, you'd think, if you don't know anything about football, and I don't, you'd expect a Premiership player to walk into a third division team and just be the best thing since sliced bread, walk on water, dodge around everybody.
Mm.
But he'd be probably taken off within the first 20 minutes with a broken ankle or something crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a third division player would go up to the Premiership and you'd be like, all right, well, we'll show him. We'll send a defender up. He's tough, he's hard, he knows that brutal footy, he'll show him. And he'd just get danced round like he's like stood there like a bollard.
Mm.
And I think it's the same in business as well. It's not that they're bad people, but your third division person gets scrappy, knows how to get the job done. But your Premiership player would be like, what the hell's going on? And businesses have the same thing. And I think the PS2 kind of blindsided Sony, really. Like, bloody hell, PlayStation 1 was great, but they like this even more, and we're running away with it. PS3, they'll lap that up. We've got all these people in thinking about what's after that. Boom, we've hit the rocks. What we doing? Well, we didn't plan for this. How do you launch a media project tomorrow? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, you don't work here anymore.
Yeah.
So pulled it back, obviously now. Some would say these mini falters, are they even ever really anything, RGT? But they're certainly a sign of something. My bit of news. Are you ready for this?
Get on them.
Yeah, I'll no, get on. I see you. I see you. Xbox man. This plays into a wider conversation, doesn't it? Anyone think this was planned? Xbox man predicts death of consoles in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know what website this is on. Eurogamer.
Yeah, Eurogamer.
O'Daly Gibson, former deputy editor, decided to put finger to keyboard with this. Sandy Duncan, former boss of Xbox Europe, has said he believes consoles will disappear very soon as everything gets virtualized. Speaking to that video game blog, Duncan said the industry is fundamentally driven by technology. I think dedicated game services, i.e. consoles and handhelds, will die out in the next 5 to 10 years. Duncan was with Microsoft for 15 years before leaving to he co-founded it, Yo-Yo Games, having established the Xbox business in Europe. He knows a few things about launching new hardware and observed there are huge risks involved. He predicted that as companies attempt to reduce these, there will be a definite convergence of other devices such as set-top boxes. There's hardly any technology difference between some hard disk video recorders and an Xbox 360, for example, Duncan stated. In fact, in 5 to 10 years, I don't think you'll have any box under your TV at all. Most of this stuff will be virtualized as web services by your content provider. Well, I'll tell you what. Ode Sandy, which is his first name, and he's got one of those two first name chaps, and then they refer to him later on as Duncan. His name's actually Sandy. I would probably call him Mr. Duncan. But for the sake of this, we're going to assume for informality, RGT, we'll call him Sandy. Sandy could see the future, but not quite. But he definitely could see it through Xbox's eyes, couldn't he? Now,
Oh, yeah. That's why I put this in, because I just thought, hang on, is he working back there for the last 5 years? Because everything's an Xbox.
In the previous sort of news article, we talked about sort of Sony learning hard lessons, but I use that as an example of them kind of preparing for the future, but then kind of tripping up, finding themselves in a position which they weren't expecting. Microsoft have been, conspiracy theory, planning this for some time. You'd think everything's an Xbox is pretty much exactly what I read there. And what year is this, RGT? I do believe it's 2008.
March 2008, yeah.
So, yes.
18 years ago.
I mean, Is it smart thinking, or was this just the word on the street for people who are into clouds and bits and bobs? Did they say, they could see it heading this way, and he's just basically verbalized it?
Problem is, I think he's thinking that, the way the tech was rising, we'd gone from, standard CRTs to HD in this generation, and he's thinking the leaps are just going to be so much bigger. But what he hasn't taken into consideration is the circuit boards and all the tech to go with it to make that gets bigger as well. I mean, he probably could have never envisioned that we've now got a small fridge and a PS5 which looks like the Sydney Opera House sitting next to your TV.
This is true.
So, yeah, we're not been able to.
Equally so, you don't need any of that, and you could be playing games on an iPad from both of the major developers in
you
the
could play on the cloud.
Two of the major developers.
Yeah, if you got stable enough internet, you could play on the cloud. So technically, on that front, he was seeing where that was coming from. As for consoles to disappear, I mean, and especially when he says handhelds, I mean, with the Switch and that, they're as popular as ever, and people with retro handhelds and bits and pieces. I know that's probably a different thing, but handhelds are probably as popular as ever at the moment, especially with PCs and stuff. But then is
1000%.
But then is that sort of correcting what he's saying? People are going from big, powerful PCs down to these handheld ones instead.
Yeah.
So is it shrinking? So yeah, I found this fascinating when reading it to see that glimpse in time of what they thought we would be nowadays. And
I think his comment about launching new hardware and there being risks involved. There are risks. You get it wrong, and you saddle to a system that you need to support for 7 years that people hate.
yeah, yeah,
Right? No amount of fixing that's going to change that.
yeah.
So doing it cloud-wise, you're not really offering anything up, are you? You're not showing them a physical box. You're just going to say there's this many terabytes behind a back wall, and you get on with it.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, mate. I mean, in 2008, I felt very safe and comfortable in my hobby. I knew what it was. I put a disc in machine, picked up a joypad, and played it. Right in 2026, as we are now looking back to this time, I don't feel so comfortable anymore. My physical game
No,
library diminishes in front of my very eyes as my fat, lazy body hits X on the PlayStation Store like a rabid dog.
I was actually having this conversation with someone last night. I was actually talking to Captain, and I was saying that I know this is a retro show, but just in relation to this, I think the PS5 is a very well optimized console. I think if you can have a home console, it's what you have. I think the DualSense is one of the best controllers, if not the best controller ever made. Yet I've never felt so detached from modern gaming in my life. You got some,
1000%.
and
It's almost dead to me.
yeah, and I just feel that way. I have no passion for that. I've got a Series X. I'm lucky enough to have a PS5, and I'm lucky enough to have a Switch too. But I feel so detached from it, and that's why I'm always going back to Gen 7 and retro and finding these games and playing, because it feels there's more soul to it. It feels so
Do
empty
you think
now.
in like 10 years' time you're going to go back to PS4 or 5 but like, this is banging console, hidden gem after hidden gem after hidden gem?
I don't know, because when the PS3 was my main console, I didn't feel like this. So I don't know how I'll feel about it in a few years' time. But it's really weird because you've got some of the best hardware sitting there, and there doesn't feel no passion there to play it. It's really weird. It's a very strange year of time, and maybe he was right. Maybe that is the consoles dying out, and we're on the change. But yeah, we'll see.
We're the last of the dinosaurs, RGT, with their heads up, munching on leaves, looking down at a little squirrel, laughing at it. But that's the future.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that is. We're a dying breed, I'm afraid.
Time to
So,
get down with the squirrels and play Game Dev Story on your mobile.
yep, exactly. Yeah, get down with Nutkins. Well, and finally, from gamesindustry.biz, Take-Two board has made a mistake, and that's by Patcher. Analyst does not believe Take-Two will be worth more following the release of Grand Theft Auto 4. Take-Two's continued rebuttal of EA's offer to buy the company for USD, 26 per share, It's a
Sorry,
mistake.
mate.
That's why I put this in. That's why I put this in. This is you look where they are nowadays, the two companies. Yeah, so EA's offer to buy the company for USD 26 per share is a mistake, according to a Wedbush Morgan, the analyst firm, suggesting that the company will not be worth more following the release of Grand Theft Auto 4 next month. Wellbush believes that Take-Two could have got a higher price from EA
Uh,
had it worked cooperatively
oh
instead
wow.
of dismissing the offer as inadequate, and the board has virtually no chance of finding a better offer. In our view, Take-Two's board has made a mistake, said Michael Patcher, analyst at Wedbush Morgan. We believe that the company was positioned to extract a higher offer from EA by offering friendly transaction, and its board chose to continue to adversarial posture. We do not mean to suggest that EA's offer was intended as a friendly one, but note that it started out as such, and EA turned hostile only after its first two friendly offers summarily were rejected. We think that Take-Two's position that the company will have greater value after the release of Grand Theft Auto 4 is naive at best and disingenuous at worst. It is inconceivable to us that there are any Take-Two shareholders, currently or prospective, who are not aware of the upcoming release of the game, and we do not believe that the game's reviews of first week sales will ultimately impact the company's valuation in a meaningful way. Patcher called Take-Two's bluff with respect to the company, suggesting it has received interest from other third parties and that it will now be willing to sit down with other companies to discuss possible business partnerships. The EA offer has been public for 31 days, and we believe the company is not in discussions with any other party, offered Patcher. This deal, in our opinion, makes more sense for EA than for any other company, primarily because of synergies from our consolidation of the two companies' sports businesses. No other company is in a position to realise those synergies, which we believe are substantial, he added. Now, this, I was laughing when I was reading this because I just thought, them saying that they were fools not to take the EA offer because they won't get a better offer, and that's not the GTA 4 game is not going to improve the price of Take Two, blah blah blah. My God, I know we went. A lot of it came from GTA 5, but look where Take Two are now. Look at the billions they have earned. I mean,
No, I think that their worth went up as soon as GTA 4 landed. And to be honest with you, GTA 4's reviews, it's still the highest reviewed GTA of all time.
yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah.
GTA 6 is the only thing that can threaten that crown now. And I think it's probably got a good chance. But
Mm.
GTA 4 was, there were some strong reviews. There were some 10 out of 10s there. I think that might be a little strong.
Not
And
far off, in my opinion. Not
not
far
far
off.
off. It is the best GTA, in my
Mm.
humble opinion.
It is, yeah, yeah. I
But one
definitely
could
agree on that.
argue those reviews were interesting locations where they took place. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Luckily, the game was worth it.
Mm.
I think, I think it was worth it. I think that the game is, it's right up there. It's definitely in the nines out of tens, but I think a 10 out of 10 for any game is strong. But hey, let's get behind it. It was definitely critically well received. I think user reviews were high, probably not quite as high as critical last time I looked. But I think the opinion on GTA 4 over time has definitely gone even higher up than I would have thought possible.
Mm.
There's things in GTA 4 that aren't in GTA 5, even on modern consoles. And, you know, GTA 4, we've talked about it, had a little bit of a spirit about it. And I think that really set the stall for Rockstar's HD ideas of direction of where they were going to go, because GTA 4 really is what fueled then Red Dead, which then fueled GTA 5, which then fueled Red Dead 2, and that's now fueled GTA 6.
Mm.
It's yeah, it was as you say, where they are now is probably a million miles away from where they were. But don't forget, this was the company that had just released banger after banger after banger in Gen 6. And the wider Take Two as well certainly wasn't sitting around. It's not exactly, the wider Take Two is not the most beautiful collection, but certainly Rockstar's the crown in the middle of it. And yeah, it had some worth. And
Oh,
I do believe EA were trying to push at a time to take out someone they saw that would be eclipsing them very soon. It was a
mm,
tactical move to buy out Take Two, kill the controlling interest, absorb the talent, probably kill the brand.
mm.
If they'd got hold of that in that convention, GTA 4 would have been safe. It would have landed clean. But GTA 5 would have been hit with
Ooh.
an EA logo. Boom.
It would have
Bam.
been, and it had also been. You can't just steal a car now. You need to use in-game currency to buy that car.
To buy lockpicks or some dribble.
Yeah. That'll have all been added in. And I mean, this article, this Michael Patcher almost seems as though he had a bit of an interest or money interest in EA buying them. He seems a bit bitter that they haven't bought them. And he also seems as though he might have made this claim before the reviews for GTA 4 came out and then added to it afterwards. Said, well, I've seen the reviews, but I don't think it'll make any difference to their worth. Oh, yeah, yes, it did.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
Sorry, Michael, it did, mate.
you often find people seed stories
Yeah.
on purpose to help sway different market persuasions, but to me, I mean, this was dead. EA were acting in a hostile way. No wonder Take Two didn't take them seriously.
Mm,
They're like,
yeah.
yeah, we see this coming a mile off. We've got our big game coming out. You want to kill it stone dead. You want to buy us out, and shareholders are greedy. RGT, they want the money.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, someone offers you X per Z, XYZ per share, and you're in a bit of a tight situation. You'd think it'd make sense to take it, right? But they somehow managed to dodge that. And I think it shows good sense, really, from Take Two. Smart.
Yeah, it does. And also, because I never realised until researching this episode, and I know I say this every week, but I discover a lot of new stuff by researching these episodes, that EA had even tried to buy Take Two. And EA were like the Xbox of a few years ago of the era. They were trying to buy every studio up they
They
could.
were. And then
They,
they nosedived them.
yes, it did. And that was weird because PS2 era, EA they branched off and had that EA Big as well, where they'd make the more sort of budget, games like Shocks and the snowboarding games. They were all
Yeah.
good fun, and they, even though this was before the EA we know nowadays with things like Sims and God knows what else they've ruined. But they were still doing some good stuff, but in the end, I think it was like you say, it killed them in the end, just trying to buy so many studios up. And it is weird. Somewhere in a parallel universe, EA has the Grand Theft Auto.
I know, and that boggles my mind. And to think of a concept and a time of a place where GTA 5, as much as I don't like it, it's still a really great product. It's a great journey. It's certainly an experience. Imagine if they'd been involved in it, or would they have just let them go off in their little subdivision and do their thing? I doubt it. It's
Mm.
EA. It's EA. I doubt it. They'd have had to toe the line in some way.
Yeah, it's.
I think we're living in a world where we got lucky.
I think so. I know a lot of people got annoyed with Take Two with GTA 5 and the shark cards and the money and the blah 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 and the people spending things. But
That's up to them.
yeah, that is optional. They did turn GTA 5 into the biggest gross and entertainment piece of media ever produced in history. Um, whether
But I
you
think we're about to get rewarded for that. Well, although we'll have to pay $100 to get in, I think we're about
yes,
to get rewarded for that.
yeah, like George says, that's totally up to you whether you spend shark cards or not, or you buy shark cards, or you buy into the GTA
Buy
Online.
more, buy more. I want
But
Red Dead 3 to look photorealistic. I want to be in the game. I want to be a cowboy. So you go and buy $6 million worth of shark cards each immediately.
Yeah, George wants in Red Dead 3, he wants to actually be the carpenter who's building the clock tower in
Yeah, yeah, just a little NPC role,
Savages pack
maybe.
lunch.
Yeah.
um, but no, you're probably right. Billions they've made off that, billions. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes to. But yeah, I would imagine EA looking back now thinking maybe we should have done a little bit of better offer nearly 20 years ago. Because
100%
oh,
RGT. 100%.
no one
Yeah.
could have seen where Take-Two, Rockstar, and the Grand Theft Auto universe would be nowadays. Um,
Well, have faith in letting people have creative freedom, I suppose. Have
mm,
faith in letting people extend deadlines. Let
mm,
people take longer. Let people delay a product. Let people go crazy and put, temperature affected horse testicles in the game. Do you
yeah,
know what? I never really noticed it while I'm playing, but I appreciate the fact it's in there.
yeah, yeah. And at the end of the day, I know these publishers and these money men, look what happened to Cyberpunk when that first launched. They want the money early, but there's a lot to be said for actually finishing a game, delaying it, and just putting out a really good product. Um,
Mm.
they've done that with GTA 5, and look, I know it's the online side, but look where it went. I mean, it's just people are still playing it now, and this,
Oh, probably more than ever. As GTA 4, 5 left the charts the whole time that the UCP's been on air. I don't think it ever has.
no,
It's insane.
it's been on 3 generations of consoles. It
And it's
came,
been in the charts every single week,
yeah,
week in, week out. This show has been on air.
yeah, released
Not
in,
flashback, but UCP.
yeah, released in 2013, and that's yeah, yeah,
I don't
thir
know how people are still buying it, dude.
yeah, 13 years old, and people are still buying that game.
Brand new.
Yeah, 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 it's still being sold. I mean, I wonder how many millions of copies have sold of that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's probably you got games like Tetris and Minecraft that are always probably going to be untouchable, but
Got to be fairly well up there, I would imagine.
oh yeah, I think one of the GTA series or the GTA series has got to be GTA 5's probably got to be in the top 10 now.
Mm, got to be, yeah, at
But
least I'd
that's
have
a
thought.
game sales, not money raised, although Minecraft probably. Anyway, we're off topic. Some great news choices there, sir.
Yeah, like I say, I hope you enjoyed those news stories. From Sony, a Sony man getting slightly annoyed with 360 getting a jump on the episodic content of GTA 4 to Xbox man, old Sandy there, predicting that 5 to 10 years we won't have consoles anymore.
No,
No, he was partly wrong, but partly right as well with his
you'll own
predictions.
nothing and be happy with it.
Exactly. And takes us up to our last bit. We were just talking to with apparently it was a mistake by Take-Two not taking EA's measly offer there by Michael Patcher. But I think Michael might have looked back on that now and realised he made a bit of a mistake there. But now I think it's time for what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battle for Endor with some of the new releases for March stroke April 2008. Spring stop wow wow. Oh, the old Ray has just
How are
got out
you
of the
seeing him?
Bluebird. Well, that's Wayne that's got out first this time. Um, and he looks like a little tiny zombie from House of the Dead.
Hmm.
It's quite good makeup, but when you get close to him, he's used ketchup. So he's just licking his lips quite a lot. So it's not real blood. It's just a bit of ketchup. Now, Sting, he's getting right in between all this 360, PS3 wars. He's right in with the wars. So he's got one arm is a PS3, one arm is an Xbox 360, and in the middle, he's got EA t-shirt on. He's balancing there right between the news, all we've been talking about. I mean, yeah, come on, Ray. I mean, are you PS3? Are you 360? I don't think he really knows. I mean, I would, he's pushing EA as well. He's sitting on the fence. He's a bit like us on the show. We sit on the fence. But how are you seeing the Ray this week?
I tell you, I can't. Wow. Wow. Getting out of the car this week, two full-grown men that I don't think I recognize, but they're dressed in sharp business suits, pinstripe shirts, ties. They've got braces on, white collars, slick hair. If I didn't know better, I'd think they were Patrick Bateman impersonators. But this week, Sting and Wayne, I believe, are Scott Steinberg from Sony Computer Entertainment America and Michael Pachter from Wedbush Morgan.
Oh, wow.
Briefcase. I know it's 2008, but they've got massive mobiles. They are proper role playing the business dude.
The yuppie.
Yeah. And I glance and I feel like the Nissan's been down the body shop and he slapped a fat arch kit on it and a Porsche badge.
Oh, sort of hot glued on. Is it glue gunned on?
Yeah. In fact, he's been the scrapyard and got the P off a Peugeot, the O off a Peugeot, the R off a
Range Rover.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Could be
Blind
off anything,
Robin.
to be fair. Yeah. And the rest a collection of like broken bits of chrome and badge and
Cherry bomb exhaust.
yeah, oh, I mean I didn't see that. I mean you're in my hallucination now. So yeah, that's there.
And also, whenever he drives past, as soon as he changed gear, Wayne has to undo the window and go, psht. It's the same sort of wastegate.
I can't you took my vision, you took it low rent. I don't want to look at their suits again now in case it's just Burton's jobbies, but I looked
Burton jobbies.
and now look at the back window. And instead of seeing like a sun visor thing that you had on the 911 now, I just see Trace Ray's washing up drying rack glued glued to the back screen. Moving on anyway, pop the boot, Ray. Let's have a look what you got. Oh, bloody yeah. Blood! Holy moly.
A bit
Oh,
spoiled here.
I'm going to fight you to death for one of these.
Hmm. Well, what you go on then? You go first then. Let's just see.
All right. Well, I'm safe here because I know that this is
Oh,
you boxed
no.
in. So I'm going to take GTA 4.
Oof.
That's my
Daddy
first
boy.
dip. That's my first dip because I'm having two dips. We double dip now. I've
All right. Well,
decided.
if we're double dipping then, my first one, I'm going Mario Kart Wii.
No, I'm glad you saved that because it was like,
Mm.
if the show should have any validity at all, if we don't pick that, we're in deep bother.
Yeah,
So you
there'll be a
saved
few
me.
messages this week saying,
Yeah.
excuse me, I
So
think
you
you'll
saved
find
me
April
from myself.
27th, Mario Kart Wii was out.
Now, those who think they know me would think I'll be picking Persona 3 Fez.
Yeah, I thought you were going for that.
Those that really know me, I'm going for Landwirtschaft Simulator 2008.
Ooh.
The first periscope up of what would become Farming Simulator.
Mm.
A series that's very dear to my heart. I was only
Now,
playing it. Oh, hang on. You're putting brakes on me now.
no, I was just going to say, firstly, I think all the listeners would like to know, knowing your history with Farming Simulator and your obsession to the extent where you've
That's a
built
little strong.
no, it definitely isn't. The obsession of where you have actually built a cardboard international tractor in your living room and you wear
Nah.
overalls and wellies and you yes you do, and you play Farming Simulator, and
Yeah,
even have a playman's lunch on your lap for when you've halfway through your ploughing.
yeah.
Have you played this very first iteration?
We spoke before off air. I'm not sure. It was either this or the second one. I grabbed a copy. It must be the second. I don't know if this one had mods. I don't think it did.
Was
So I
this
think,
yearly? Was it released yearly?
I think it was every other year. So I
So,
think
yeah,
like
because I remember 2010. I think there was a version.
maybe I grabbed one of them and maybe around that time. I thought it might have been before, but it couldn't have been. Couldn't have been. I couldn't get it working on my work's laptop. They're a little bit strict, to be fair.
I take it this was PC only of the time then, was it?
Yes, it was. And I wanted a slice of this. I was like, I could get into this. And I thought, oh, well, man, I'll be into this. And I took it round. I got the Herode machine running it. Oh, it was struggling. And I went on to what was probably Mod Hub or whatever then. Yeah, I said Mod Hub. I did. Yeah, good. And it's just there's Freudians everywhere.
Hmm.
So I got on there and got an English map, like something similar to what we knew, and some, old 80s tractors. And yeah, a little bit of fun on there. It was running at 2 frames per second, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd love to see what that would have been like on a proper machine back in the day. But yeah, either which way, 2008, let's get in on it. Landvert Shaft Simulator 2008. RGT, what's your second game after Mario Kart?
Um, I was sort of torn between SNK Arcade Classics on the Wii Volume 1 because I thought, yeah, that'd be nice having the arcade SNK games on the Wii. But then I was also looking at Trackmania Nations Forever. Now, when Trackmania first came out, I used to play it. I had a PC that was capable of playing it at the time.
Oh.
Um, and it was quite online. There was a lot of people racing all at once, and I got really into it. Of a friend of mine and his dad played, and we were racing all the time. To quite a few, I won quite a few events on it. Really enjoyed it, and then it went off. I mean, nowadays it's got a big scene of people getting, not speed runs, but real high scores and or low times on Trackmania. Big following nowadays. But then is sort of the early days of Trackmania. I loved this. I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Trackmania. I think.
What's up, Scott? Scott Ray? What's up? Sting, what's up? He said you do know he's got like 30 copies of GTA 4.
Oh yeah, I'll be having a copy of that as well. But I was just trying to.
Oh, you greedy little pig.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just gonna have a word with him once we finish the show. But a few honourable mentions, like you say, with Persona 3, Fez. We had SingStar, Autumn Party. There you go, George. Um,
That
and
NBA Baller's Chosen One sings to me from
I
beyond
was going to
somewhere.
say,
I mean, what's
hello
that
was
all about?
looks like a 50 Cent game, and then suddenly it's hang on, it's NBA.
It's like you're the Jedi of NBA. And you're like the
It does look,
chosen one.
it does
You're
look like a
gonna,
Star Wars game.
you're the chosen one.
Yeah, good at
What's this?
basketball, I am.
What's this? It's a basketball. Your father wanted you to have this when you're old enough, but your uncle wouldn't allow ball.
Yeah, if anyone, yeah, just Google the art image of NBA Baller's Chosen One. That doesn't look like. I mean, you tell it's basketball, but it looks like a teen rom com or something from the front cover.
I just thought I see a bloke jumping with a basketball on the left hand side, but to me it could be a lightsaber for all I know. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time. You say Trapmania.
We had Battle of the Bands on the Wii as well. That was all with the peripheries was quite the thing at the time. Summer Sports, Wii again. All these games were big on Wii at the time, all coming through. We even had Rocky and Bullwinkle on Xbox 360. I would presume that was arcade live.
Major League Baseball Fantasy 2K8 All Stars made it onto the DS. When you can't get any other game running on there, I guess when baseball season rolls around, you'll buy anything, won't you? There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably about what we would have been hoping to play. I think some good, lot of say, some good choices there with
Yeah,
GTA
enjoyed that.
4, Mario Kart Wii. Um, what are you going to choose for your film off rating?
Well, Ray assures me, and he hands me a copy. Looks like a photocopy, but I don't care because it's one of my childhood heroes, Indiana Jones, got a new movie out, Kingdom
Ooh,
of the Crystal Skull. This is going to be awesome.
is
It's
that
going to be
even
like
in
being,
cinemas yet? Well
I
done,
know,
Ray.
it's going to be like I'm 12 all over again. I'm hyped. I'm going to get that inspired by how good this movie is, I reckon. I'm going to be out in the backyard with me rope and me hook swinging off trees.
As long
And
as there's no snakes. Don't like snakes.
you're absolutely right.
Hmm.
I wouldn't. We're on flashback.
Steady.
What movie are you picking?
Um, mine's not out for a couple of months either, but he assures me this is a cinematic original copy, and this is of Wally, my daughter's favourite film. So I had to choose this many a times watching Wally. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with
Hmm.
Wally.
Careful.
Why?
Last time I got a Pixar movie early off of him, it was basically he had basically Wayne running around at the school play, got a load of the Amdram kids involved, and they were just, did Toy Story.
Oh, it's in Wayne in a little pedal bin, is it? Ray?
He's going to say no, but I
Oh
do know
no.
for a fact I drove by the Methodist chapel, and out the back, it wasn't a round bin. It was like a bread basket, but the sides had been covered up, and it had what looked like
Yeah,
well,
took him.
it had one of them Otomi things taped to the top of it. So I reckon he
Oh,
probably had Wayne crawling around in that.
they didn't take him down the old council waste dump, did he? And had him rolling around like he was collecting the waste. Did you, Ray?
Well, he did ring me up. He did ring me up Tuesday, and he said, "I'm trying to get Wayne somewhere small, but he won't fit. Would you mind coming down here and imagine him as a mouse?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do that for you, Steve.
Oh
I'll
wow.
help you out." Yeah. So I imagined him as a mouse. He crawled inside. Then I imagined him as Wayne again, and he was sorted. He was in it.
Wow, he's pulling a shift, didn't he, poor Wayne? Uh,
I don't know if
Jeez.
it tires him out what I see him as, but I
Uh,
mean, you don't even think about it really. You just do it no consequence.
yeah, well, we'll see what Ray's Wally is like anyway when I watch it next week. But yeah,
It's just a
thanks, Ray.
highbrow concept you just need to consider about what you do to Sting and Wayne on a weekly basis.
Definitely. Um, let's go into a bit of housekeeping. As always, this time of the show, our website, unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, go check that out. We've just updated it from the UCP challenge accepted winners this month, so that's all being updated. I have an apology.
Oh, what the hell? Why?
I've been told off because I've been saying on the show, I've been saying Gazcom, not Gazcon. So I have formally been told off. And yes, it's looking like you are right, Gazcom. It looks like I will be getting a suspension from the show. So we'll find out more about that. Whether I get
So
a
he isn't a
referendum.
Russian gas company, he's a Russian criminal, Gazcom.
Yeah, con with an
Yeah,
N.
yeah.
Con. Don't say com because I'll get in trouble again. So yes. So I do apologise. Yes.
No, I
Anyway,
want this.
I know you do. Yeah, that's why you suspended me. Um, and
Well, it's a suspended suspension.
hmm, I bet it won't be. Well,
It's
that might be.
suspended. It's a suspended suspension.
Yeah. Well, you'll find out on next week's UCP. If I'm there, that's a suspended suspension. If I'm not, that's a suspension.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
He'll be there.
it depends.
I'm
Depends.
not suspending him. If
Yeah.
he's not there, it's because he chose to be a diva.
You don't know how mean he is off air. Also, our
What the
email
hell?
questions on official controller
I'm a
podcast.com.
devil.
Yeah.
Absolute devil.
Yeah, he's the diva. Discord, come check our Discord
Dealer.
out. Anything.
Simmer down. I want
Diva.
that scrubbing from the record immediately.
Diva. Yeah, a Discord. Yeah, come check it out on Controller Podcast Discord. There's links everywhere. Jump on there. Come have a look. Bit of flashback, bit of challenges, bit of Gen 7 playthroughs, just general good chat with general good guys and gamers. Check out our TikTok, our Insta, our X/Twitter, if you're allowed to call it that anymore. Yeah, and I think that's
Call
about
it
it.
what you like. Yeah.
I think we covered anything. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for downloading. Don't forget, share around everywhere. Come and give us a sub on YouTube. Have a look at it on YouTube. Come and look at the UCP on YouTube. And like I say, share around all your gamer friends. Let's get the
Yeah,
word
pump
about
up the
Flashback.
show. Do a fella some favours. We don't want anything for this. We ask, people support us if they want to, but every
Yeah,
week this will be free. You'll be here. RGT will be nose deep in the internet. Hopefully researching the show. If not, yeah, VPN. Use a VPN. And we're scratching together everything else, pulling behind the scenes. We're not slacking here. We're working hard. I could just do with your help getting the eyes on, is all. Any way
yeah,
you can.
yeah.
Any way you can.
Like I say, if you haven't subbed to us, on YouTube, give us a sub, give us a share, tell all your gamer mates, come along, give us a little review, even if you haven't done that. That all helps. It all helps the algorithms and helps us push Flashback as we're
That's free.
over 20 shows now. Yep, all free. So, yep, come and give us a little hand. That would be much appreciated. But like I say, on that note, thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening again. Hope you enjoyed March 2008 as much as we did. Thank you, George, for joining me again, week in, week out, and putting up with me. Yeah,
Well, the feeling's mutual.
yeah, that's been good. Been very good this week.
You're
Just
happy,
leave.
are you?
I'm very happy. Yeah.
I want to just say thank you to everyone who keeps supporting this show and the main show, and generally all the things that UCP is doing across every spectrum you can imagine. We're grateful. We see you. We appreciate you. Um, we want to find more of you, like-minded people. So help us spread the word.
Mm,
Very, very grateful. Thank you very much for all that you've done. Back
yeah.
to you, RGT. Let's see us out.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, on that note, flashback, the games you loved, the stories you forgot. I'll see you all next week, and I'll see you next week, Chris.
See you later, everyone. Thanks, RGT.
Flashback.